Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 7th. Today is our third class on antonyms. We will be doing the topic in detail and also solving the sample questions. Let's get started.
So the first question that comes is, what exactly are antonyms? You see, अगर synonyms का meaning आप याद करो, तो synonyms क्या थे? You should try to remember and write that down कि synonyms क्या थे? Now synonyms were the words which had similar meanings. जैसे happy and joyful, right? जैसे sad and depressed, words with similar meanings. But यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पे you see negative and positive. Either you see happy and sad. You see above and below. Now here if you can notice, here the situation is that all these words are opposite to each other. These words mean exactly the opposite. So the words which mean opposite to each other, they are called antonyms. Synonyms थे the words which are similar to each other, which mean the same, and antonyms are the words which mean opposite to each other, right? Now we will do examples. हम examples करेंगे तो आपको ज़्यादा अच्छे से टॉपिक समझ आएगा, आपको उसकी प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीकेशन समझ आएगी और क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व तभी होंगे जब आप एग्जाम्पल्स अच्छे से समझ पाएं और फिर क्वेश्चंस में इन्हें यूज कर पाएं. ओके Okay, so here you can see a few examples. Combine is the antonym of separate. Clockwise opposite is anti-clockwise. Correct, the antonym is incorrect. Conceal, which means to hide something. Reveal means unveil it, show it. Right. Come and go. Common and rare. Comfort and discomfort. Courage and cowardice. Cruel and kind. Courteous could be the opposite of discourteous or rude. Alright, these are a few antonyms. They are the opposites of each other, which means what combine means is the opposite of what separate means, and so on and so forth. Here we have a few more examples for you. Happy and sad, which we did. Hard and soft. Heavy and light. High and low. In and out. Last and first. Laugh and cry. Hasna, rona. Pehla, आखरी. Andar, bahar. Upar, niche. Getting it? Learn and teach. Less and more. Kam, ज़्यादा. Lie and truth. Remember I told you on the previous slide, false and true हो जाएगा lie and truth. Long and short. लंबा and छोटा. Loose and tight. Lost, found. Love, hate. North, south. On and off. Over and under. Play and work. Polite and rude. Poor and rich. Present and absent. When your teacher takes your attendance, you either say present ma'am when you're in the class, or you say, for somebody who's not there, you say absent ma'am. Right? Top and bottom, quick and slow. आप देख रहे हैं इन सब में similarities क्या हैं? Similarities are that both of them, they mean the opposite. So let's move on. A few more examples, we will go over them quickly. Raise and lower. Raise मतलब किसी चीज को ऊंचा करना, lower मतलब नीचा करना. Right? Increase and decrease. Right and wrong. Rise and sink. Rough and smooth. Same and different. Sell and buy. Short and long. Sour and sweet. Start and stop. Stay and leave. Stop and go. Strong and weak. Teacher and student. Tidy and messy. True and false. Ugly and beautiful. Up and down. White and black. Wild and tame. Wild and tame, if you don't know the meaning, tame करना किसी को control कर लेना जैसे होता है. Wild, when something or somebody is not in your control, they are running wild. Like wild animals जो होते हैं, they are the ones जो control के बाहर हो जाते हैं. Tame are the ones जो अपने control कर लिया है. They're going as per your instructions. Win and lose. Well and sick. How are you feeling? I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling well. But if you are unwell, you say I'm feeling sick. Wet and dry. Young and old. All right. Here are a few examples, few more examples. Like virtue is the opposite of vice. Visible, the opposite of invisible. Voluntary, the opposite of compulsory. Vowel, the opposite of consonant. Wax is the antonym of vain. Wisdom is the antonym of folly. Within, opposite of without. Alright, so you've seen so many examples of antonyms. Now let's move on. Now we will be doing the quiz. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO. So it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. Okay, so let's move to the questions now. Here, this category of questions say, choose the correct antonym of the given words. We are given a word and for which we have to choose the correct antonym from the options. The word is acquit. The options are A. Freedom, B. Forgive, C. Condemn, D. Reject. Now here the correct answer is C. Condemn. So acquit means freeing someone from some charge, or giving them freedom and saying that no, they're not guilty, right? Whereas condemn is the opposite, which means telling someone that they are guilty, condemning a charge or condemning a person. Now the other words, like freedom is the synonym of acquit, forgive could again be a synonym. Then we have reject, which means saying no to something. Alright. Okay, so the next word is affirm, and the options for its antonyms are A. Accept, B. Deny, C. Allow, and D. Welcome. Now here the correct answer is here, yes, B. Deny. Now this word affirm, it means confirming something, allowing something, whereas deny means saying no to something. So this is an antonym. The other words, accept, allow, welcome, these could be called the synonyms of affirm. Alright. Okay, so the next word is ancestor. The options are A. Descendant, B. Forefather, C. Precursor, D. Grandparent. Now here the antonym is A. Descendant. Now a descendant refers to the generation that comes after you. For example, let's say here's this, or let's make a family chart. For example, your grandfather, okay, and grandmother, and your father, and your mother, okay, then it comes you plus your sibling. Alright, so now from the point of view of your father and mother, your grandfather, grandmother, they are the ancestors, and you and your sibling, you are their descendants, which means your next generation. And then for you, all these people are your ancestors, and they could also be called your forefather or precursor, and even your grandparent. Alright, grandfather, grandmother, grandparents. So the generation that has come before you. Alright. Now here, descendant is the generation that comes after you. Alright. Okay, so here we have the word authentic. The options are A. Factual, B. Trustworthy, C. Original, D. Unreal. Now we have to choose the antonym. Okay, so the antonym is D, unreal. Authentic means something that is true and correct. Unreal means something that is not real, which means it is not true, so it becomes an antonym. Alright, the other words, factual, which is based on facts, that is a synonym. Trustworthy, something that can be trusted, original in its truest forms. So all of these, they are synonyms of authentic, whereas unreal is the antonym. Alright. Okay, so the next word is comical. The options are A. Humorous, B. Wacky, C. Serious, D. Crazy. Now here, the synonym, what do we have to use? The antonym. The antonym of comical is C. Serious. Now you see, comical means something that is funny and full of humor, whereas serious means something that is, we can say, not funny, and we're talking about with authenticity and diligence. Alright, so this other words, humorous, wacky, crazy, these can be the synonyms of comical, whereas serious is the antonym. Alright. Okay, so the next word is defensive. Here the options are A. Safe, B. Unwary, C. Uptight, and D. Protective. Now here the antonym of unwary, the antonym of defensive is B. Unwary. Alright. Now defensive means being protective about something or someone, defending it, giving arguments for it. Alright. Whereas unwary, it could refer to not being wary of, in the sense not paying attention to it, or not defending it. That's the antonym. For the rest of the words, like safe, it can be said to be a synonym. Uptight again, being uptight and defensive about it, it can be a synonym as well. D. Protective. This is a straightforward synonym as well. Alright. Okay, so the next word is destroy. Here the options are A. Finish, B. Ruin, C. Raise, D. Create. Here the antonym of destroy, we have to choose the antonym. The antonym is D. Create. Now destroy means spoiling something completely, removing it, destroying it from its roots. Similarly, finish also means the same synonym. Ruin, spoiling something. Raise again also refers to destroying, but raise is generally used for destroying some sort of a settlement. Alright, any village or any city or any building, that is when you destroy, when that particular settlement is destroyed, the word used is raise. Alright, so the antonym here is create, which means making something. Okay, so the next word is effective, and the next word is effective. The options here are affective, B. impressive, C. suitable, D. incapable. Now here the antonym of effective is D. incapable. Right, incapable means not being capable, not being able to do something. So this is the antonym. Then the other words like effective, this means something that is useful and you being able to do it, being able to perform. And here we have two of these, which is effective and affective. Now effective, it is used to really describe something which produces the whatever the result was required. Okay, then suppose you wanted to achieve X sort of results or X marks, and if you have achieved that result, then that will be called effective. But this affective, where we use A, this one means something that has been influenced by something like some sort of emotions or feelings. Alright. Now the other words like impressive and suitable, they can be called as synonyms of effective. Alright. Okay, so the next word is examine. Here the options are A. Inspect, B. Overlook, C. Analyze, or D. Probe. Here the antonym of examine is overlook. Now when we overlook something, when we say that this thing has been overlooked by this person or that person, which means it has not been paid attention to. For example, there's a detailed document that you have been reading and there was this particular detail that you missed out. So we could say that you overlooked that particular detail. Alright, which means not really ignore, but kind of something that did not get your attention. Okay, or you missed it. That's overlook. But for the other words, like we have here examine and inspect and analyze and probe, all of them refer to reading in detail and reading something thoroughly and analyzing it. Alright, so these are the synonyms of examine, whereas overlook is the antonym. Alright, so the next word is furious. Here the options are A. Calm, B. Crazed, C. Angry, D. Violent. Now here the antonym, pretty easy, is A. Calm. Furious means someone who's really angry, full of a lot of anger. That's furious. And calm, and someone's at peace. This is an antonym. The other was like crazed, synonym of furious, angry, synonym, violent can also be a synonym. Anger and violence usually go together. Alright, so the next word is gallant, and here the options are A. Fun, B. Bold, C. Coward, D. Frolic. Now here the antonym of gallant is C. Coward. Now gallant usually refers to someone who has been brave, or we can say has shown some sort of heroism. Alright, now coward is someone who has not been able to show courage, got scared. So that is an antonym. Now other words, fun. I think fun can be a synonym in a different sense for gallant, because someone who's brave is also a little bit of fun. Alright. But however, it will be a synonym in a different sense. We can, however, say fun and frolic. Fun and frolic are direct synonyms of each other. Okay. And gallant and bold are synonyms. As I told you, gallant means being brave and heroic. Alright. Okay, so the next word is generous. Here the options are A. miserly, B. noble, C. liberal, D. lavish. Here the antonym of generous. The opposite word is miserly. Okay, now miserly we can say someone, जो थोड़ा सा कंजूस है and keeps their money, doesn't take their money out of their pockets, and keeps their resources very carefully, uses the least resources, मतलब in a conjuice sort of way. All right. Whereas other words like generous means someone who's large-hearted, and then noble as well, someone who does good deeds, liberal, one who's free, lavish, who spends well, and luxuries. All right. So all these words, this, all these four can be said to be synonyms in one sense. All right. Okay, so the next word is genuine. Here the options are A. literal, B. exact, C. faithful, D. fake. Now here the antonym of genuine is fake. Fake means something that is not true, that is not authentic. Alright. And the other words, genuine means something that's true. Literal, which means taking it as per the facts. And exact, same thing. Faithful, something you can rely on. So all these words, they can be said to be synonyms of each other, whereas fake is an antonym. All right. Okay, so the next word is idle. Here the options are A. Sluggish, B. Static, C. Torpid, D. Active. Here the antonym of idle is active. Alright, active means someone who has a lot of energy, keeps on jumping here and there, and utilizes a lot of energy. Right, that's active. The opposite of idle. Idle, something which is static, is at the same position. Right, sluggish again, some behaving tiredly and lazily. Static, in a permanent state. Torpid, again, someone or something which is physically inactive and behaving lazily, lethargic. So all these words again can be synonyms of each other, whereas active is an antonym. Alright. Okay, the next word is inferior. Here the options are A. Secondary, B. Superior, C. Subsidiary, D. Minor. Here the antonym of inferior is B. Superior. Alright. Superior means someone who is above the rank. Inferior, someone below the rank. Alright. Secondary also, secondary referred to someone who is next in line, of lesser importance than the important one. Subsidiary again, lower in rank. Okay. Minor again, minor वैसे तो we refer to people who are less than 18 years of age. Alright, minors. But again the same thing, it can be said to something which is lesser in importance. Alright, so all these are synonyms, whereas superior is an antonym. Okay, the next word is knowledge. Here the options are A. Awareness, B. Ignorance, C. Wisdom, and D. Learning. Here the antonym of knowledge is ignorance. Ignorance is actually referred to as that state of not really being interested in what is happening, which is the lack of knowledge, the lack of information, and not paying any interest in all that. Whereas other words like, knowledge, gaining wisdom, gaining information, awareness, being aware of what is happening around, wisdom, intelligence, learning also, being, learning new things, skills. So all these words again can be synonyms of each other, whereas ignorance is an antonym. Okay, the next word is living. The options are A, existence, B, persisting, D, C, lifeless, D, livelihood. Here the options are, the correct answer of living, which means the antonym of living is lifeless. This is pretty easy. Living and lifeless. As the name suggests, lifeless is one which does not have any life. They're not living anymore. Alright, something or someone has died and is not breathing anymore, has no life left. The other words like living, existence, and we have persisting. Persisting also refers to someone who's persisting, which means still breathing, still living. And livelihood actually is the difference between life and livelihood. Let me tell that to you. Okay, now life involves breathing and life basically means your survival. If you are breathing, you have a life, all right. But livelihood, however, includes various resources, which means like for living as well, it's not just about breathing. A person who is breathing, yes, he is alive, but is that person able to live his life? Which means, does that person have food? Does that person have shelter? Does that person have clothes to wear? And 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day to eat. Alright, all of that is included in your livelihood, and your life includes life and livelihood can be compared by saying that life means breathing, whereas livelihood involves a whole set of another things as well. Alright, so here again, all these words, yes, in some sense, they can be called as synonyms of each other. Now you see, what is the thing about synonym? The thing about synonyms is these words don't exactly mean the same. They don't exactly mean the same. They are not same, but they are similar. Okay, they are on the similar lines. Like we can say the core idea जो है synonyms का वो same होता है. जरूरी नहीं है कि exact main word is same. अब living की जगह you cannot always use the word existence. Alright, but when asked about these words, yes, you can say they are synonyms in one sense because they have similar meanings, not the exact same meaning. Alright, they come from the main idea. Their core idea is the same. Okay, I hope you have understood. Okay, the next word is moisture. The options are A. Wetness, B. Dryness, C. Dampness, D. Sweat. Now here, the correct answer, the antonym of moisture is here, dryness. Now dryness तो होता है सूखा सूखा मतलब like when your skin is dry जब say white spots हो जाते हैं stuff like that, the lack of water, basically lack of moisture, that is dryness. Okay, whereas other words, moisture, which means having water, सब कुछ all the other words are related to water, some or the other sense. Wetness जब पानी गीला होता है, right? Dampness and sweat, even all of them related to water. Like the water, sweat also includes water. Dampness be some sort of, we can say, for example, I'll give you one example. Just say, for example, biscuits and other stuff. जैसे say बाहर, if you don't keep them in an airtight container, तो हम कहते हैं ना कि biscuits सील गए. Right, we use those kind of sentences at home. So that is what is dampness. Alright, so all these words are related and they are synonyms of each other, whereas dryness can be said to be an antonym. Alright. Alright, the next word is privilege. Here the options are A. Opportunity, B. Benefit, C. Freedom, D. Disadvantage. Now here the antonym of privilege is disadvantage. Okay, disadvantage means not having the benefit of and not being able to take the advantage of, मतलब कुछ limitation या problem जो हो रही है. Whereas the other words we have privilege, opportunity, benefit, freedom, all of them, they can be said to be synonyms of each other. Now let me explain. Privilege क्या होती है? Privilege is some sort of an advantage a person has. For example, now you're a person, I'm assuming you're watching this on say a smartphone or a laptop or anything. So now you have the privilege of what? Of this access which you have to technology. You have the access to internet. Alright, you have the access to these all these resources. However, there may be certain students, and there's a whole lot of rural India which does not have access to this. Okay, now here what you have, this access to all these smartphones and internet and this technology, that can be termed as privilege, a privilege that you have over the others. Now, okay, so this is a sort of an advantage that you have over the others, because you are able to access all this. All right, so you should always be aware of your privilege and appreciate it and be thankful and show gratitude to your stars, to your God, that you have all this privilege. All right, you should always be humble and aware about it. Now the other words, opportunity, which means getting a chance for something, benefit again means an advantage, freedom, the liberty for doing something. All right. So all of the synonyms, whereas disadvantage is an antonym. Okay, the next word is quit. The options are A. Remain, B. Depart, C. Leave, D. Abandon. Now here, we have to choose the antonym. The antonym of quit is A. Remain. Now quit means leaving something, right? And so does depart. You know, when someone goes away, we say that person is departed. Leave, again the same thing. Abandon, you know, just leave something and go away. So all these can be called as synonyms, whereas remain means staying at the same place. That is, can be an antonym. That is an antonym. All right. Okay, so the next word is rarely, and the options for its antonyms are A. Hardly, B. Frequently, C. Sporadically, D. Scarcely. Now here, the correct answer, the antonym of rarely is frequently. Frequently means something जो ज़्यादातर होता है, that happens a lot. Okay, ये adverbs में भी पढ़ा था. Frequently something that happens a lot. Other words, rarely, hardly, sporadically, scarcely, जो बहुत कम होता है, कभी कभी होता है. Okay, frequently something that happens often, we can say. Whereas the other words are used when something happens rarely, or I can say जो कम होता है, very less number of times. Okay. Alright, now the next word is recalled. Here the options are A. Forgotten, B. Recollection, C. Rejected, and D. Reminiscence. Now here the antonym of recalled is forgotten. Now recalled means जिस किसी को याद करना, like when I ask you to recall a memory of you playing in the park, which means मैं आपको एक मेमोरी दोबारा से याद करने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि आप वो जो मोमेंट है उसे रिकॉल करो. ओके, सो दैट इज रिकॉलिंग. फॉरगॉटन मतलब भूल जाना. Recollection, again we can it can be said the same, it can be said to be a synonym of recalled, कि आप उसे recollect करो, which means दोबारा याद करो. Alright, now reject is basically dismissing something, saying no to something. Okay, then what do we have? Then we have reminiscence, which means again it can be said to be a synonym, which means reminiscence basically तब यूज होता है जैसे सपोज you see a stranger and suddenly you are reminded of someone else or something else, then तो आपको reminiscence, that experience or that feeling is called a reminiscence. जब आपको किसी चीज को देख के या किसी को देख के अब किसी और चीज की याद आती है. Alright, that is reminiscing it. Okay, so recalled, recollection, reminiscence can be synonyms. Rejected, I think, is just a random word given to confuse you. All right. Okay, the next word is rigid. Here the options are A. merciless, B. stringent, C. lenient, D. austere. Now here the correct answer is C. lenient. Now rigid means something that is rough and tough, someone or something that is rude and strict. Okay, whereas lenient, someone who's free. All right, now let me give you an example. For example, let's say, okay, now if you have there can be two kind of people, one who follow the rules very strictly, okay, and they make you follow all the rules and the regulations, which is good, but they don't allow any scope for any kind of any kind of freedom. Now that can be a rigid person. That can also be a merciless person. Merciless इस sense में हम तब कहते हैं जब the person who doesn't show any kind of forgiveness. Okay, and stringent also we refer at the time we are saying जब कोई rules बहुत strictly follow हो रहे हैं. Then we have austere. Austere can also be someone who's very severe and strict in their attitude. All right, now that these are your synonyms of each other. Whereas lenient, the one who allows for certain kinds of freedom. तो थोड़ा सा bending of rules हो जाता है, they are allowing for various things to happen. So that is lenient. All right. Okay, the next word is thoughtful. Other options are A. Serious, B. Caring, C. Civil, D. Mean. Now here, the correct answer, which means the antonym of thoughtful, is mean. Okay, now thoughtful is someone who, cares about people, who thinks about people, thoughtful. They're full of thoughts in the sense about other people. They think about their experiences and their conditions, so that is thoughtful. Whereas mean can be someone who is selfish and only thinks about themselves and is rude in behavior. All right, that is mean. The other words like serious, pretty sure you know what it means. Other words like caring, this can be a synonym. Civil also can be a synonym. Caring, one who cares about other people and things. Civil, the one who shows respectable behavior and is polite and well mannered. All right. Okay, the next word is sharp. Here the options are A. Fast, B. Quick, C. Fine, D. Blunt. Here the opposite of sharp is D. Blunt. Okay, now here sharp means, now for a thing sharp means which has this capability of hurting someone or something. जैसे एक knife है and that knife has this pointed nook, right? Pointed this surface, and this is very sharp. It has an edge which can cut or pierce into something. So that is sharp. Whereas blunt is the opposite, which we can say जिसका एक sharp edge नहीं होता है, which is not really able to we can say cut, मतलब इतना harm नहीं पहुंचेगा. All right. Whereas as किसी person के लिए अगर हमें blunt बोलना है, as an adjective किसी person के लिए अगर हम use करते हैं तो हम blunt तब कह सकते हैं जब कोई without any filter, which means without any beautifying of words, एकदम जैसे कहते हैं ना कि मुंह पे ही सच बोल दिया इस तरीके से, that when someone says things outrightly without any fear or shame, that is blunt. So the other words, fast, quick, fine, these can be synonyms of sharp. Okay, so the next word is spread. Now here the options are A. Prepare, B. Diffusion, C. Collect, D. Increase. Now here the antonym of spread is collect. Okay, spread means something that is going far off. जैसे COVID-19 has been spreading so आज के मतलब और लोगों को हुए जा रहा है, so it's spreading. All right, going, which means moving outwards, spreading. All right, whereas collect would be jab when you're taking things from many sources and collecting it at one place, whereas many people like to keep collection of different currencies or coins. Collect matlab bahut jagah se ek jagah aa raha hai. Spread is the backward thing happening. So other words like prepare, diffusion, increase, these can be said to be synonyms of spread. Diffusion again, एक जगह diffusion मतलब एक जगह से बाकी जगह spread होना. All right, increase also the same thing. All right. Okay, so the next word is thankful. The options are A. Obliged, B. Ungrateful, C. Request, or D. Pleased. Now here the correct answer, which means the antonym of thankful, is B. Ungrateful. Thankful is someone who is grateful, who is appreciative of the efforts the person in front of them has made. They're thankful for their efforts. Ungrateful, someone who shows no gratitude and doesn't thank the person. That is ungrateful. Other words like obliged, again, someone we can say it's a synonym of thankful. Request and pleased also synonym. Request is a noun here. It can be said to be a random word given here because all these are adjectives. Others are adjectives, these are synonyms. Request is a random word given here. Okay, the next word is trust. Here the options are A. Rely, B. Doubt, C. Real, D. Faith. Here the antonym of trust is B. Doubt. Now, doubt means not believing something, having certain inhibitions, and not believing something completely. Alright. Trust means having faith in it, believing it. Rely again. If you rely on something, which means you believe it. Real, something which is true. Faith again is a synonym of trust. So all these words, they can be said to be synonyms of each other, whereas doubt is the antonym. Alright. Alright, so the next word is unique. Here the options for its antonyms are A. Rare, B. Different, C. Common, D. Solo. So here the antonym of unique is common. Common is something जो आसानी से मिल जाता है, which is characterized by like a lot of people. जो common है लोगों में, right, which is popular among people, whereas something which is unique or rare or different or solo, which means talking about the uniqueness of it, मतलब इसकी exclusivity की बात हो रही है कि ये बहुत कम मिलता है. unique something जो special है, rare again जो बहुत कम मिलता है, different जो बाकी चीज़ों से या लोगों से it's अलग है. Alright, solo refers to just one person. So these all can be synonyms in one sense. Alright. Okay, so the next word is worried. Here the options are A. Untroubled, B. Upset, C. Afraid, D. Anxious. Now here, pretty easy, I think. The correct answer is A. Untroubled. Because worried means, being troubled and being upset about something. किसी चीज़ की tension होती है, so you get worried. Whereas untroubled means not being troubled by it, being calm and composed. So it is an antonym. Other words like upset, anxious, afraid, yes, they can be synonyms of what? Of worried. Alright, all these three. This is the antonym and the rest are synonyms. Okay, now here this is the next category of the HOTS questions. These 5 questions 31 to 35, these are the HOTS of the Achievers section. Alright, we will be doing them. These carry 3 marks in your final paper. Total 5 questions hote hain, so they are very important. Pay attention. Choose the correct antonym, the same exercise, but there will be slightly difficult words. Here the options are, here the word is figment. The options are A, daydream, B, fact, C, fable, D, illusion. Now here the correct answer is B, fact, the antonym. Fact means something that is literal and true. Okay. Fact के basis पे जो एक true authentic information, that is a fact. Whereas other words, they are certain, they are in imagination. For example, word like figment, we use it in phrases like the figment of my imagination, which means which is a part of my imagination. जो आप imagine करें उसे हम figment कह सकते हैं. Daydream, fable, जो कहानियाँ होती हैं but they're not really true. Illusion, जो आपके दिमाग में होता है illusion, and that images but they are not true. Alright, so fact is true, whereas others are just a part of your imagination. Alright. Okay, so the next word here we have is acrid. Now here the options are A, harsh, B, caustic, C, amiable, and D, pungent. Now here the correct answer, which means the antonym of acrid, is amiable. Now all these other words, they usually refer to someone who is not friendly and a little bit of selfish and mean, we can say. Okay, whereas amiable, someone who's friendly. So all these other words are synonyms. Acrid and harsh means being rude. Caustic and pungent, they can also be referred to someone who's being rude. या जैसे हम refer करते हैं someone who's being bitter. Alright, so these are synonyms and amiable is an antonym. Alright, so the next word says perturb. The options are A. Annoy, B. Assure, C. Upset, D. Vex. Now here the correct answer, which means the antonym of assure, perturb, sorry, I just spoke the answer, is B. Assure. Alright. Now assure means being certain about something, being sure about something. Alright, whereas words like perturb means feeling unsettled and having some sort of concerns. Whereas other words like annoy and upset and vex, these can be said to be synonyms of each other because they refer to a feeling of being concerned and having a little bit of anxiety and confusion. Alright, all of these. These are synonyms. Assure. Okay, so the next word is grim. The options are A. Cruel, B. Cheerful, C. Horrid, D. Stern. So here the opposite is cheerful. Cheerful means being happy and joyful and cheery. Alright. The other options like grim refers to being serious, cruel, someone who's harsh, horrid refers to horrible, and stern again serious. Grim, serious, cruel, horrid, stern, all these can be synonyms, whereas cheerful is an antonym. Alright, so the next word is retort. Here the options are A. Answer, B. Report, C. Return, and D. Request. Now here the antonym of retort is D. Request. Now request means asking something or asking for something in a polite and respectful manner, whereas retort means saying something in and maybe an angry or an insulting manner. All right, whereas these other words we have is answer, report, return. Answering means replying to something, report giving an answer to something again, return giving something back. All right. So that's it. With this we come to an end of the questions for antonyms.
That's all for our class on antonyms. I hope you have understood what antonyms really are. If you made any mistakes in the questions that we discussed, make sure you note down the synonym, the antonym, whichever mistake you made, and revise those so that you don't repeat that mistake. I will see you the next time. Thank you.